Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I've got a quick Halloween tutorial, and the reason it's quick is because Halloween this year, I believe, let me double check it, checking the mascara everywhere, I believe is a Wednesday. So yeah, a Wednesday. So that pretty much means most people will be at work. Especially people my age. I mean, a lot of parties do happen on a weekend, but if it is actually a proper traditional Halloween party on Halloween, and you know you've not got that long to finish if you work a 9 to 5 job, you know you haven't got time to sit there and do a full face of sort of full Halloween look, I'm going to show you today how to get sort of a unicorn whimsical inspired look. So at the minute I've got, as you can see, just my basic everyday makeup on. This is quite light makeup for me, but this is just my basic. I've got foundation, concealer, just a little bit of bronzer and blusher on, and not a lot of highlight, just a tiny bit of highlight just for that glow, and that is all I've got on, and a bit of mascara. But to start off, I'm going to take the majority of my mascara off, just because I find it so much easier to try and put eye makeup on without mascara on. And my lashes, I always mascara afterwards, because I've got quite curly lashes, and if I put mascara on and then put my lashes on, they tend to get in the way. So as you can see, I've already done my hair, a little bit messy, but this is to show that you can, I mean, I've had my hair in a high ponytail all day, and I've just backcombed it a little bit and done it into a little top knot, so unicorn style. So let's just clean up around my eyes a little bit. Okay, there we go. So now I have pretty much remove the majority of mascara. Obviously I've not used a proper cleanser or anything like that, I've just used a baby wipe, so it's just come off with that. So now I'm gonna go in. I've just picked up my Revolution Conceal and Define. This is the concealer. I'm gonna prime my eyelids and just apply a little bit around my eyes, not too much, but just to make sure we've got rid of any of that shadowing. Okay, so now I'm all primed. I'm going to go in with, I'm going to start with eyes. I'm going to go in with the Sample Beauty Bon Voyage eyeshadow palette, which this is one of their old packaging, or one of their old packages. This was before they relaunched with like the Paradigm palette. So make a little bit of space. Like I say, when I think whimsical kind of looks, I'm thinking pinks and purples really. So I'm going to start by taking a flat brush, which is just an e.l.f., just says e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit so we can see what's going on. And this is the palette, so it's very, very similar to sort of like the 35B palette, kind of like that cut, sort of inspired brights, carnival kind of looks, like the BH carnival palette and things. So I'm going to start with these three purples, and I'm going to take this middle purple, and I'm going to load it up on my brush, and I'm going to pack it onto my lower lid. Taking it right down to my lash. Okay, and then what I'm going to do with the same brush, I'm just going to take that from my lower lash line and take it up to the corner of my brow. And because we've already got our base on, we can do our eyes all in one go. and then blend that into that lower lid. So that's the purple laid down. I'm now going to go in with a nice fluffy brush. This is just a Morphe fluffy crease brush. And I'm going to take this pink here. So on the middle row, second from the bottom, I'm just going to take that and go over that line where we took that purple up to. And just start blending that on. Okay, so as you can see, I've got a nice pink purple blend using just 2 of those shades, and because we've sort of overlapped with the pink, you can see we've got sort of a nice blend, and it looks like we've put a bit more effort in than just 2 shades. So just make sure they're kind of blended, but not too much, because I'll show you what we're going to do a bit later on. Okay, so I'm going to take my Revolution Pro HD. This is the Amplified 35 palette, and the reason I'm taking this is because of this baby, oops, try not to blind you, this baby pink colour that's there. And I'm going to take another, chuck all my brushes everywhere, another pink, no, not another pink. I am going to take another pink eyeshadow, but I'm going to take another crease fluffy brush. This is just another Morphe brush. Pick that up on the brush and completely blend that right the way up to my brow and along that V that we did earlier as well. Bringing it right in to the corner of my eye. When it comes to makeup at Halloween, there is no right and wrong. Okay, so I'm just bringing that, as you can see, right the way sort of onto my nose as well. Okay, so that is pretty much the eye colours done, so eyeshadows. And because it's unicorn themed, sort of Halloween, can never have sort of too much glitter, shimmer, so I'm gonna just swatch these, which this is the Barry M holographic eyeshadow topper, which that has got that gorgeous blue shift. It does actually look purple. I think that's because the light's on it, but you can just see there's like a purple shift and then like the green undertone to that. So I'm gonna take the holographic lip topper, eyeshadow topper from Barry M, and I'm just gonna press this onto the lower lid. And then I am going to take a little flat brush and I'm going to tap that out a little bit and just spread that so that you can still see the purple eyeshadow underneath, but it just gives it that holographic look on top. You can see the difference from this one to this one, and that just changes the look completely within a matter of seconds. And just use like slight dragging motions but very little pressure, because you don't want to shift the eyeshadow that's underneath there. And it just say, it just changes that look completely. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a bit of that on the back of my hand, using the same flat brush that I've just been using to smudge it out. Take a little bit, and I mean just a little bit, on the edge of the brush, and just drag it out through the middle of that V, following the line we used for the purple. Just when you move to the light, and if you are going to a party, if you're in the light, just when you move, you'll see that different colours. Okay, so for face, because obviously you've probably been at work all day, you just need to powder down. You can see, especially for me, I get oily skin, just might need to powder down in a couple of places. But just to give it a little bit of coverage, I'm just going to take a bit of the Conceal and Divine and put it on the back of my hand. And with the Revolution, this is the soft sponge. I'm just going to zoom you out a little bit so you can see all of my face. It's better. Take a little bit of that. I'm just going to add a little bit to my nose, just a little bit more coverage. Even out my skin tone a little bit more. Like I say, this isn't, I normally would have heavier makeup on there than this, but just to add a little bit more coverage in those awkward places. So the friends that like to come and stay, nose, obviously that tends to get rubbed and things like that throughout the day. That just gives a bit more cover to that. I'm just going to take a pressed powder. It doesn't have to be any special powder, just a pressed powder. I'm just going to take down some of those oils, powder me down a little bit, and make sure to set where we reapplied that concealer on the nose. So I am now going to go in, do a strange technique. I'm going to contour with blush. So same as what you would normally do with your contour, I'm going to take a couple of darker shade. This, by the way, is the Revolution Blush Dream palette. I'm going to take some of that, and this is going to be very, quite full on. It's going to look a bit strange until it's all finished. So where you would normally put your contour, and where your contour actually is if you've got your full face of makeup on, I'm going to put this all up on the cheeks, which it may look a bit 80s style to start with, sort of heavy blusher. I'm going to do both of those cheeks to start with, and then bring it up onto the foreheads, just keeping the darker colours right into sort of the hairline. This is where things are going to start to come together, I promise. I'm just using my normal blush brush that I would use, so obviously it is going on a bit more concentrated. And then I'm going to take these two, well, more this one, the lighter shade, and just blend it more down my forehead, so we're not going like really dark right onto the centre of the forehead. We're now looking very pink, very pink. I'm going to take a loose powder. I'm going to take the Revolution hard makeup sponge, and I'm going to load that up on the brush, and this sponge is dry. I like to do this dry, and I'm going to cut that cheek like you normally would when you're cutting your cheek when you're doing contour, but we're doing it with blush. Obviously you don't have to do this, but it just cleans it all up so you haven't got blusher flying everywhere. So that's all I'm going to cut with that. And then with normal contour powder, just a fluffy brush, and just take a very little bit of that, and I'm going to contour my nose. Okay, so I'm now starting to look a bit like an alien, but I'm just going to wipe away this bake. Just use a big fluffy brush. There we go, that cuts that nicely. Just keeps that looking as neat as possible, that you haven't rushed it, even though if you are in a rush, this, you can obviously skip that step, but I just think it finishes it off a bit better. And now I'm just gonna press my powder brush over that contour a little bit, just to blend it together, make it look a, yeah, that's better, make it look a little less in your face. I'm gonna take a few different highlights, and it's unicorn look, so I don't think you can have too much highlight. So I'm gonna take my normal highlighter brush, which is, I think I've said this before, it's a Morphe brush, and it's technically an eyeshadow brush, but look at the size of that, that is not an eyeshadow brush, it covers half of my eye. So I'm going to start with the Revolution Pro Supreme Highlight in Gold, and I'm going to use this pink rose gold tone. And it doesn't matter if it's too dark, because what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put this over the blush, and then take the blush brush and stamp that in, so you look like you've got a rosy highlighter, like blush topper. There you go, so that just brightens up. You can see the difference already, how much it's brightened up that side of the face. Like I say, normally this is too dark for me, but it's Halloween, who cares? Or it's nearly Halloween anyway. And I'm just going to clean that excess highlight off, because even though you can never have too much highlight, I do want to try and keep this highlight as sort of clean so you can see the different colours as possible. Then I'm going to go in with this one out of the Blush Dream palette, which is the one that we used to contour our pink face, and I'm going to take that right there. And I'm going to drag that around where we did the eyeshadow, and then blend it under the brow on top of that eyeshadow. So I'm bringing it quite high. Normally I would never bring my my highlight up to my eyeshadow line, but that's where we're going to bring it today. And then I'm going to use this one because just to tie my nose into everything, the pinky rose one out of the Blush Dream palette. I'm going to use this on my nose to tie the pink everything together so that my nose doesn't look out of place. So doing that little exclamation point. And then normally I don't do this, but I'm going to take this lavender highlight, it's lilac one, which I don't normally wear lilac anyway, I tend to go for more warm tone highlights, and I'm gonna chuck more brushes on the floor, highlight my forehead and highlight it quite a bit. And these are very pigmented as well. You don't need, I mean, that was literally practically one tap in. And then to blend again, I'm going to take the blush brush that we used just to make sure you're fully blended, to make sure we all match. So as you can see, we are nice and blended, highlighted. And then just because highlighter isn't always enough, I'm going to now go in with my glitter glue. And I am also going to be using the Barry M Body Glitter in Snow Glow. Which, just be careful because I've just nearly spilled it everywhere. The holes on this dispenser are pretty big, so it does dispense quite easily and quite quickly. And what we're going to do, take a blob of the glue on the back of my hand, use that brush that I used for the holographic topper on my eyes, take a bit of that, not too much, and I'm gonna dab this over the top of my highlighter, go back in with the same brush, and then we're gonna press some holographic glitter on top of that highlight. Just keep going in, you can build up and put as little or as less as you want. Just make sure if you are going close to your eyes, you put in cosmetic grade glitter on your face, because obviously when you're taking it off you do have to be very careful. You don't want it to irritate your eyes or anything. Look how blinding that is. Then just going to do the same on the other side. Okay, and then I'm going to pretty much top every place you would normally put highlighter with a bit of glitter. So I'm looking very sparkly, very glowy at the minute, very much not me, because as you will all know, I mattify my face down completely most of the time. I never go this, but for Halloween you can completely go out of your comfort zone. So I'm just going to darken up my eyebrows a little bit, and I'll be back and we'll finish off the eyes and sort some lips out. Okay, so I have, what have I just done? Done my brows, and I've tight lined and water lined with just a plain white eyeliner, just to brighten my eyes up again, make them really stand out. And I'm just going to finish off the eyes now. I'm going to go in with the Blush Dream palette with that pinky toned highlight, the paler pink one, and apply a lot of that in the inner corner to brighten everything up. Okay, and then I'm going to think the glitter on my eyes, because I'm going to just apply a little bit more glitter. I'm going to take some of these, which are the Revolution Pro, and like I say, I've not really swatched them, but I think I'm going to just swatch a couple of these. I think I'm going to go with this one because it's got that shift to it that we've been using for the rest of them, like the rest of the glitters. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that on the brush that I've just put my inner corner highlight, and lay a little bit of that down, sort of on my, let me zoom you in, you'll be able to actually see what I'm doing. So as you can see, just in my inner corner, I'm just going to bring it down ever so slightly. Now if you want this to really stick and be a bit more solid in pigment, I'd suggest using a glitter glue like we have for like the rest of the glitter, just because it is a little bit flaky, but it's pure glitter. Okay, and then just to finish this whole look together, just on top of that holographic glitter, I'm just gonna tap some glitter glue and tap some of this glitter, so it's not just holographic, it's sparkly. But I'm going to swap brushes actually, because that's my inner corner brush. Go back to the one that I was using for the glitters. I'm also just going to bring that up into the crease a little bit as well and just over it. Just to blend everything together. Okay, so we are now looking super sparkly, and I think that is enough for the eyes, apart from the most important thing, which is some lashes and mascara. And these are wispy lashes, because they'll just be enough just to add that sort of blown out whimsical, I know I keep saying that word, but blown out whimsical look, but they're not full on too heavy. So what I'm going to do for now, I'm just going to put the lips on, which I'm going to use the Sleek Matte Me, and I'm going to use a lip combo in, I'm going to use Birthday Suit, and then over the top just a little bit I'm going to use Volcanic, which is like a holographic. Now I've just overlined ever so slightly on my top lip, and before this dries down, I'm going to go and just dot Volcanic. I think because I still really like this tone as well, I'm just going to take a tiny bit of Rusted Rose just on the very centre. Right, I'm going to let my lips dry down. I'm going to go put on some lashes, and I will be back to show you this very funky finished look. Okay, so this is my unicorn quick after work Halloween, I don't know what I'm going to call it, sort of my tutorial. Let's pick you up and bring you in nice and close. So to finish off, because I thought there wasn't enough glitter, I added on my lips, I added the hollow lip eyeshadow topper that we used on the eyes, the Barry M one. And then on my eyes, I don't know if you can see, I've put the wispy lashes on, and then I put some black mascara on to coat them and obviously blend them all together. And then I went in with the collection glam crystals, and I put that on my lower lash line, so we've got some sparkle. And then I just put a little bit through my top lashes, just to sort of tie everything together, so we're all sparkly and very glowy, which is completely different to me. I'm very pink, but if you're not wanting to go scary this Halloween, thought this was the perfect look, you can create it without using any kind of special effects makeup. You can just use eyeshadow, which I've just used everything out of my normal everyday makeup pretty much, apart from the glitter. I don't wear that every day. But if you've got blusher, highlighter, some eyeshadows, you can create this look. And then obviously I've just added some glitter just to give it that extra, pretty much. and you don't have to go this sort of extra on the lips. I just thought because we'd gone so sparkly and so sort of holographic, I mean you can see that highlighter on my brow bone up into my hairline is so shiny. I just thought my lips, especially with it being a matte formula, even though it had like a metallic reflect to it, it wasn't enough. It wasn't sparkly, it wasn't shiny, so that's why I've gone in with the holographic lip as well. But this was my first of quite a few anyway, my first of a few Halloween looks that I'll be doing this year. This was, like I say, the first of many. I will probably try and upload one a week, maybe even two if I'm feeling especially spooky, until Halloween, and I will upload one on Halloween, fingers crossed. But if you like this, give it a thumbs up. I loved doing this. I love sitting and playing with makeup, especially after the week I've had. I just needed something to feel a bit better about myself, so this has been a nice little distraction from everything that's going on. And like I say, makeup can be fun. Makeup doesn't have to be serious. Makeup can be as sparkly as this or as plain as you want it to be. So this is, like I say, Halloween look, but it's also been a nice little sort of make me feel better look. And if you, like I say, liked it, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if there's anything you want me to have a go at for Halloween, if there's any sort of looks you want me to try out, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!